Okay.
Hello, this is Igor from Neformat.com UA, and this is Stefan from Haze with me. Hello, Stefan.
Hello.
So, okay. First question is, Haze has been around for more than 15 years for now. And do you remember how it all was started? Was it kind of much more difficult for psychedelic rock bands in this time to break through than now?
Well, the band started different, and back in the time in 1994 it wasn't so much a psychedelic rock band or stoner rock influenced band than it is now. And it was a different lineup. We had a different bass player and different drummer. And music was also different, so this was more, it was heavier, darker what we did. It was more in the direction of, well, take a mixture of Henry Rollins, King Crimson, Tool, maybe that kind of band. It was more complicated also. And Haze, like it is now, developed when Marnie and Philip came into the band, and the singer we had in between went out in 1999. That's when we started playing this sound and developing on. So I think the difficulty about getting out with a band to an audience is always like the same. Maybe it's easier, it has been easier in 2000 than it has been in 1994, because then you already had the structures from the internet, which also helped a lot to find your own ways, to look where you can go, where you can get some review, where you can send it to. And before it was only the print media and only the official ways of music business to do your thing, and suddenly with the internet you could start more easily than it was before to do your own thing and get it around.
And what about now? Do you consider Haze to be a psychedelic rock band, stoner rock band, or you just don't care much for the genres, for stuff like this, and you can experiment from one record to another?
Well, basically, for us, it's like I don't mind if you put bands in a drawer. You have to do this to explain people what it is. So sometimes I say myself that what we are playing is stoner rock, or what we are playing is heavy psychedelic. For us, what we do is music. You know, we get it from every kind of source. Basically, a lot of influences come from. Maybe, influences come from jazz, they come from old folk music, from all over the world, and of course a lot comes from the 60s pop and rock groups, also some current stuff influences us, and that way we also classical music, and we bring this all together in the end, and we have the specific sound, which is the language basically which we speak to, which is bass, guitar, drums, and with our sound. And this is done where we take all these influences, and in the end it turns out to sound just like us. So this is, well, for us it's the music we can play, and it sounds like that. So, for other people, you can call it heavy psychedelic or whatever you want to call it.
And what about the songs itself? Are they like jam-based, or maybe you come to a rehearsal with the idea that you already have, it already shaped? Both sides, yeah?
But our process is normally that if we have, sometimes we come to an idea while improvising in the rehearsal. Sometimes I have an idea at home. Very rarely I have a fixed written song made at home, which is something I did now for the album with 2 or 3 tracks where I already had guitar, vocal line and arrangement worked out here, but we didn't do it with the band. And then we did it in the recording process, which is new to us now that we can do it in studio and see while recording what would fit best and how we can work it on. But our process normally is about songwriting, that play and play and play it over and over again. And we also don't discuss about parts or let's rehearse this part or that part, but we just play as long as the thing fits together. Everybody. I have my guitar lines, and Philip finds his bass lines, and Marty finds his drum lines, and so we listen to each other and get it together. And sometimes this process takes like 2 years for a long song until it's finished. But this way we come to our songs. It's a kind of organic process that we kind of let it grow while during playing naturally. And sometimes then of course you have to think, because if you have 2 parts in a session and the one goes like this and the other goes like this, but in the session one time in the lucky improvisation you came to the second part easily, but suddenly you forgot how to get there or it took too long, and then you sometimes go back and think about, okay, I go here and maybe I compose a bridge or something like that.
Looking part.
Yeah.
And what about like if you recorded a song already and you listen to it and suddenly realize that, damn, this sounds exactly like something. Because you know some riffs sound like another riffs and stuff like that, and you think like, damn, this is not our song anymore.
Don't know, we had this so much. I think we mostly recognize it already when we have the riff. If that happens, then you come to the same idea the second time, and then we go and listen back if it's really like what we think the original is, and mostly not. And yeah, and sometimes we play with it, then I make a hint, you know, and we kind of make a.
Nowadays, I mean, there's somewhat a renaissance for psychedelic rock now, as far as I see. And what do you think? Many bands that are emerging now, are they somewhat good, or are they just, you know, trendsetters that don't want to look like psychedelic rock from 60s, hippie stuff, or anything like that?
No, I don't think so. I don't see much clone bands around in this musical genre, because it's not so easily just to clone it and make some recipes for it. I think a big trademark of today is that you kind of can play any kind of music, any stylistic direction. So you have really like 60s psychedelic bands who do the stuff like old Pink Floyd, and you have a lot of new progressive bands who really sound like 1972 Genesis kind of stuff, or King Crimson kind of stuff. You also have a lot of bands who sound like 80s progressive bands, and then on the same way you have the scenes for metal, for gothic, you have bands who do the old 1975 hard rock style, and garage bands and rockabilly bands and everything like that, which hasn't been, when I was a kid, it hasn't been like that. There were some 2 or 3 different kinds of music.
Across the hills, I'm so lonely, man, so even full. We gotta love and all of us real. We gotta cry out and reach out of time and twist the mind. Feel the connection.
Okay, finally, last one, the most important question. Right now you're going to a studio to work on the new Haze record. So when will we see it, and is there any chance of you to come into Russia or Ukraine with live shows or tour?
At the new album, it's a lot of work. We had a lot of difficulties. We had to build our own studio around it, so it takes. And we had some difficulties with it because it's a huge machinery, and also, we made some mistakes in recording, and we had to find out how we can solve them. And because I know how to mix a record, I can produce a record, but I wasn't a sound engineer so far, so we had to learn all this also from the recording side. Made some mistakes there, of course. And so at the moment it's running quite good. Now finally, after months of working on it, and I hope I will have it finished in August, and then the artwork is already finished, and so if the recordings are finished in August, we will have it out pretty soon, maybe the CD already in August. This is what I hope for. And about touring, it's always a lot of interesting countries we would like to go to. A problem is that I have the label running, and Mani and Philip have regular daytime jobs. So and we also rehearse 2 times a week, so we already invest a lot of time in the band, and yes, regular holidays of 6 weeks, so it's always we play maximum like 30 shows per year. So we did a tour of nearly 3 weeks this year with 18 shows, and we had Duna Jam this year. Now we're playing some festivals in the summer, and that's it. That's already a lot for us for the time. With work and everything, to drive here and there and go through Europe. So I don't know if this is going to happen. If it works out, or maybe there's some festival which invites us.